come to lay down and on just with your knees bent. Then laying down on your back, knees bent, fingertips reach down to make sure that the heels are nice and close. And we're just starting with gentle hip tucks. So it's not a huge movement, just tucking under slightly and then tucking the tailbone back out. So you get a gap underneath your spine, and then when you tuck under, you lose the gap underneath your back. So your lower back imprints onto the ground. And then just press the fingertips into the sort of that lower core. And as you tuck, you should feel that hardening happening in that little triangle between your hip bones and your pubic bone. And then see if you can start to exaggerate that a little bit. And by exaggerate, I just mean set some intention there so that when you tuck under, you're also drawing your hip bones towards each other and creating a little bit of a like punch in the gut action where you can feel everything gets super hard. Keep moving through those tucks. And then we're going to add on. So we're going to tuck, knee lift, back down, untuck. Tuck, other leg lifts, back down, untuck. And this is just kind of like a really gentle way of telling the core that we're going to be using it for the next hour, 45 minutes to an hour, almost straight. Because this is a handspring focused Pilates sequence that I have created. And the main moves in Pilates, in your handspring or your Ayesha, is that there is a pull. So you can start doing both legs at the same time now. So tuck under, both legs lift, back down, untuck. Tuck under, and you'll notice if you keep your fingers there, how much harder your belly switches on to lift both legs. So just keeping the fingers there creates a really nice like communication and awareness. So keep moving through those. So the movements in the handspring Ayesha, or the strength that we need, is a pull with the top arm and a push with the bottom arm. But then it's also hugely about the core, because really it's your core that's going to take your legs from the ground to above you in a straddle. So that's what we're going to add on. So coming through the tuck, knee lift, straddle, back to knees in tabletop, and then down, untuck, tuck, both knees lift, straddle, legs come back into your tabletop, legs come down. And the untuck is just so that you can really feel the tuck under, the imprint of the spine, but you can take it out. It's not doing anything functionally for the movement. So you can just go feet down, back up, straddle. So then it becomes like a double leg toe tap. So try and keep the belly drawing in towards the spine, so don't let it pop out. So knee lift, straddle, back to tabletop, double toe tap. Lift, straddle, table, toe tap. Really keep that core engaged throughout the whole movement. Like it almost doesn't need to let go. And then we're going to add on again. Actually, no, we're just going back to toe taps. So you can either stay with both legs or just single legs, tapping one at a time. The further away from your body that you tap, the harder it is. And the thing with doing the double instead of the single is it keeps the motion constant, and you can even feel when you kind of poke your core that everything is engaged as your toes are tapping down. If you want to make it harder, then you can straighten the legs. So come back to tabletop and then straighten, lower, tap, straighten, lower, tap. If you want to let go of the palms, they can come down to, let go of the core. Then you can just bring the hands beside you with the palms facing down. Make sure that lower back stays imprinted against the earth. Just got another 10 or so of these. I don't really count, so just keep it going. We got leg circles. See if as you bring the knees back up, you can kind of tuck under, keep that lower back imprinted against the spine. Let's do 4 more. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then bring the legs down. Keep one leg bent. So maybe left leg, let's keep the left leg bent to start with. We're going to straighten the right leg and take it straight up. Externally rotate. So present your heel to the sky. And then we're taking tiny little circles. So when I say present the heel to the sky, sorry, I do mean the inside of the heel. Just so that you know that you're really working in this like upper iliacus, what's the word that I'm looking for? Adductor. Change directions of your circles. Tiny little pulsations, just keeping those muscles really engaged in that deep hip stabilizer area. Have another couple of breaths. And then release. Change legs. Right leg down, left leg up. Externally rotate. So present the inner side of the leg to the sky and start with your circles. Try and keep your body nice and tight so that core is still engaged. Poke it if you need to. Just making sure that you're not rocking side to side as the leg moves. Make sure you're still breathing. Lower back still imprinted against the floor. And then we're going into change circles, change direction, sorry. Let's do another few of these. Have another couple of deep breaths in. Long exhales. When you exhale, you should feel the core engage hard. My circles went a little bit wonky there. Sometimes it's a little bit more like a blob than an actual circle. It takes so much concentration to get that really nice round pulsation going. And then let's release. Let's bend the elbows up and take the fingertips just to touch the floor behind you. Then as you curl up, you're going to squeeze the ribs to the hips, lift the knees, lift the elbows, and squeeze them together. Reach for the floor, tap and squeeze. This is like a little mini V-up, but it's really all about feeling that squeeze in the upper belly. Oh, hello. This guy has no idea about personal space and social distancing. Oh, how good's your dog? I don't know whose dog that is, but someone, I think it's Isabella's dog, just trots over, sits on his bed. I've got this little Klingon. So really squeeze. See if you can pause at the top where you're in this like little egg shape, and then release, tap down, come up, pause, squeeze, come down, tap, roll up, ribs to hips, squeeze up a little bit higher, and then release, tap. So when you get to what you think is the top of the pose, you squeeze a little bit higher, your shoulder blades lift up a little bit more, and it's almost like this double pulsation action. And then if you can get the pause up there, it really starts to burn in that upper core area, which is really what's all going to help you to lift the legs up, because the legs are heavy. So we need to work the whole core in order to start strengthening it enough to lift our legs above us. Okay, let's do another 5 more of these. 3, 2, and 1. Release back down. Come into a happy baby. So bending up the legs so that they come to either side of you, and then reach up and grab the foot. So what we're doing here is going to be doing a scap engagement by using the legs. So come up a little bit so that you kind of, your shoulder blades lift up off the ground, and then you're using the scap to pull, actually no, you can keep the head down, but you're allowed to kick the leg away. So kick the right leg away to straight, and then you're using the right arm scapula to pull that leg back to bent. So extend the left leg and then use the scap of the left arm to pull the leg back to bend. So try and take as much of the movement out of the leg as possible, and just use the scap to pull the leg back. And it may be easier to keep the legs even more passive, to keep them a little bit bent the whole time, so that you're not actually asking them to do anything. You're just using the hands or just using the scapula to pull the leg back into bend. It's a very small movement, but it's probably one of the only ways we can create the pulling sensation in a body weight workout like Pilates, because usually pulling requires some kind of resistance. So you can start to kick the foot away. So kick the foot into the hand so that you create a little bit of resistance. Kick away, pull down, kick away, pull down, kick away, pull down. And see how my shoulder is really getting pulled away when I extend the leg, and then it retracts to pull it back in. Let's do 5 more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we're going to take both legs to straight, and you're going to internally rotate the thumbs. So take the thumbs so that they're facing up, so that you're in a thumbs up, and then turn them in towards each other until they're upside down. Then grab the foot from either the foot or the ankle from the inside. And then here you're pulling the leg out. So pulling it out into a straddle. And really wanting to get, so you can bend the elbows here. So that's it's using that shoulder strength in what would be a twisted grip to pull this way. Nice. And really resist with the legs if you can. So create a little bit of a pull-push action. So when you're pulling down with the arm, your leg is making a little bit of resistance there. So you should feel the biceps and the front of the shoulders are doing the work here. You can hold higher up the legs. You can keep the legs bent if you want to. But we're really just trying to get a little bit of activation in that twisted grip, kind of mimicking twisted grip on our legs. It's definitely easier holding the ankles for me than holding the feet. Let's do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Then where are we up to? Hundreds. So come up with your legs up, either into a tabletop. So first level hundreds is actually with the toes tapping the ground, tuck under the tailbone. Otherwise, up into your tabletop position or legs straight, or you can come into a hollow body position. And we're going for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really pull the shoulders up away so that the shoulder blades are not touching the ground. 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 4, 5. Lift, squeeze the ribs towards the hips. 40. 4, 5, 6. Lower the legs away from you if you can. 50. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 60. Make sure that the belly's not popping up. So draw it back in. Squeeze again, ribs towards the hips. 70. 6, 7, 8, 9, 80. Keep those pulsations nice and tight. You should be feeling it in the shoulders. So the pulsations aren't just to waste time. They're actually there to get a little bit of strength in the shoulders as well. So squeeze the rib towards the hips. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And release back down. Take a Hollow body next. This is where we're going to move straight into some pretty intense core work. So come into your hollow body. So legs are low. You can press the hands into the mat, palms facing down, thumbs tucked just underneath the glutes. And we're coming into a reverse crunch to a plow. So make sure there's enough room behind your head. So from hollow body, slowly lift the legs up. You can keep them bent if you want to, taking them up overhead until the toes touch the ground, and then plow, straddle, back to plow, slowly roll back down. Squeeze here as the legs lower, back to hollow body. We'll slowly lift all the way up, roll over, plow, straddle, plow, slowly come down, hollow body. Come up and over, squeeze, tap the ground, straddle, come back and in. Slowly down. So you should feel that your core stays engaged throughout the whole movement. If you want to take the hands off the ground, you can take them up and overhead. Makes it a little bit more challenging when you don't have that resistance pushing against the ground. If you want to add on, this is optional. To add on, as you come down to hollow body, sit all the way up into a forward bend. Reach for the toes. Lay all the way back down. Make it slow and strong. Then lift up the legs. Come all the way over plow. Straddle. Squeeze the legs together. Roll back down. Find your hollow body. Then sit up. Forward. Slow to lie down. Squeeze on the way down. Try not to use momentum if you can. Keep it nice and slow and controlled. We're going to try and get through another 10 of these. So in your own time. I'm up to 2. 3. This is 4. 5, only 5 more. You can take out the sit up if you want to. Just come back to hollow body. Whatever feels good. 6. 7. 8. 9. Last one. Finishing the rep that you're on. And slowly release. Come to sit up slightly and then rest back onto your elbows. Once you've got your T-zone engaged, so that's the core engaged, hips drawing in towards each other, we're going to lift up the legs. So tuck under the tailbone, lift them up so you're back in that hollow body. And then we're going to do oblique crunches. So you're crunching your knees up towards your left shoulder and then back to hollow body. Knees to the right shoulder, back to hollow body. Left, squeeze. Right, squeeze. Keeping yourself up on the elbows just kind of keeps you in that automatic tuck. So it should be a little bit easier to keep your core nice and engaged and drawn in towards the spine. Squeeze up and extend. Keep the toes pointed the whole way through to keep the legs nice and strong. And then moving as one unit. I turned the heater on. That was a mistake. I'm going to quickly turn it off. I can't believe it's already this warm. It's already so warm today, which is good. Keep flowing through these while I figure out find out what's next. Okay. Squeeze to the right, extend, left, extend. When you hit the middle section, make sure you come right to the middle and then start moving again. So there is a definite pause back in the hollow body position. Not quite a hollow body position because you're up on your elbows, but you get what I mean. Squeeze, extend, squeeze, extend. Let's do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2, and 1. Release. Come over onto your side. Have a little stretch if you need to. But we're moving straight into some side lying theories, which I always think of like Jane Fonda doing the clams. You're probably all too young to know who Jane Fonda is. She was like the original exercise videos. So we're going to lift up through the hips. You can either do this with either the knees bent and at a 90-degree angle, lifting through the hips and then back down. So you're on your elbow, squeeze as you get to the top and back down. If you want to go into a full plank, so from the feet, same motion, squeezing to get up and then back down. I'm modifying today, but it's up to you. Richard, what are you doing? Squeeze to get to the top and then slow down. And it's more like a tap down rather than a rest down. So it's almost like you want to stay up the top and you're just dipping rather than lifting. Slightly different intention when you set up that way, and it keeps it a lot stronger. Let's do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release back down. So we're going to come into another side plank variation. You can do this one either on the elbows or on the on hands and feet. Your modification will be either bottom knee down, or if you're on the elbow, bottom knee down. It's a little bit easier with the bottom knee down to be on your hand, like this variation or this variation seem to be the two that get the angle right. Then we're going to reach that top leg and that top arm away from each other. Get a full stretch as far as I can go, and then squeeze elbow to knee. Extend, squeeze, extend. If you want to try this from a full plank, give it a go. Oops, just kick my dog in the face. He's hanging out very close lately. Try it from that full plank just to experience that. Go, Isabella. Let's do another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Stay in your side plank. We're going to come up into this variation. So bottom knee is bent and then just leg lifts. So squeeze the glute to lift the leg. Squeeze. And you can even place the hand on the glute, on that side glute med, and really feel that activation happening. Keep the core engaged. Yeah, that bottom leg really feels it, huh? You think it's resting. If you're getting kicked in the face, you should move. Honestly, it just keeps letting it happen. It's not a real kick. It's just a little like brush up against his face. The problem with having clingy dogs. Okay, let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. We're going to come into a plank. So to have a little rest, you can either come back to child's pose or up to downward facing dog. Really push into the hands. Sink the hips back, either towards the heels or up towards the ceiling, whether you're in your child's pose or down dog. Then we're going to come into our forward facing plank series before we move to the other side for those side lying torturous things. So starting in 4-point position, extend the right leg and right arm, left leg. So left foot can just tap onto the ground, extend the right arm forward. Then lift that left leg no higher than the hip. Really engage the core here, rib to hip connection so that lower back doesn't dip. Really keep everything long. And then we're going to squeeze elbow to knee and then extend. Elbow to knee and extend. Squeeze. And you'll notice that left hand that is on the ground has to actually do a lot of work to hold you up here. Let's do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Squeeze and then release. Left side, straighten the right leg, extend the left arm, engage the core, press down into that right hand, and then lift the right leg no higher than the hip. Squeeze the core in and elbow to knee. And you do need to have a little bit of awareness of your balance with this one. Even though it's opposite hand to knee, don't take for granted that you're still using all of your stabilizer muscles not to fall over. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Squeeze and extend and then release. Have a little breather in child's pose if you need it. Roll the shoulders out. We're coming up to our peak poses where it's getting a little bit harder. So forgive me. So the next we're going to do is a shrug to fire hydrant pulsation. So the shrug is from all fours. Let the chest dip down and then push into the floor to do a little shrug of the shoulders. So keep the shoulders down away from the ears as you move through the shrug. So they are depressed and then you're protracting and then retracting. Protract, retract. Every now and then, reset the shoulders away from the ears. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you can raise the knees so that you're in a beast, and you'll notice that as you come down, the knees tap the ground and then back up. Nice, guys. So when the knees stay floating, they just kind of touch the ground as you lower and then lift back up. If you want to add in the fire hydrant, so we'll go shrug, shrug for 2, and then take the right leg out and then the left leg out. Then shrug, 2, right leg, left leg. If you're in the beast, shrug, 2, exactly the same. Right leg, left leg. Shrug, 2, right leg, left leg. Shrug for 2, right, left. 1, 2, right, left. Let's do this 3 more times. 2, right, left. 1, 2, right, left. Last one. Left. And then release back down. Relax the arms, give them a little shake. Roll the shoulders back. Maybe take the arms up overhead. Maybe drop the elbows behind you. Palms touching. Take the head back. Get a nice stretch in the shoulders. Then open the elbows out wide. And then with the palms facing forward, kind of like you're offering, I don't know, offering arms, keeping the fingers facing towards you and the thumbs facing out, we're going to come into this kind of like planche push-up. So the hands are facing back towards you. If this doesn't feel good on your wrists, elbows, shoulders, anything like that, then you're just coming into a normal push-up. But if these are fine, then walk the knees back, get into like a kind of half plank, and then it's just a gentle push-up and back up. You don't have to come all the way to the ground, but it's surprisingly easier than you think. You just have to come over the top of the hands and back down. But really, this is the action that your bottom hand does when you're in an Ayesha. It's that kind of push. So we're mimicking exactly the kind of push that you require for handspring Ayesha. So we're just going to do 10 more. These are pretty hard, pretty extreme on the wrists. If you think you want to try it with straight legs, give it a go, even if it's just a smaller push-up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And release. Release the hands, give them a big shake. Oh, that's a good one. That's right, we've only got one more variation of push-ups and it's a single leg, but we're gonna rest before we do that by coming into our other side. So turn around and we're coming to our side series, just to give the wrists a bit of a break. I don't know about you, but my wrists definitely need a break after that. Yeah. It's a hard one. So we're starting with just our hip dips. So come up into the top half of the position, either on your elbows, on your hand, and then lower the hips. Squeeze down and squeeze up. Lower down, squeeze up. And all of this like side oblique action is what helps, gets our legs up and over. You really feel it when you're training Ayeshas and handsprings, etc. Squeeze down and up. If you want to try it in the full version for a few reps. Maybe not on the wrists. Okay, let's go another 10. Press as you need to. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Release. Now we've got the knee to elbow. So have a little rest. And then we're going straight into that variation. Either full plank or up on the knee. And extend the leg away, extend the hand away. And then knee to elbow squeeze. Extend. 2 and 3. 4. Squeeze. Extend. Keep pointing the toe. The more that you point the toe, the stronger, the lighter the leg will feel. If the leg's floppy, it will become heavy. Stand and squeeze. Excuse me, what are you doing up there? Get down. Let's do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release. Whoa, that was a bit longer than the first side, I think. All right, on this side, we've only got our gate leg lifts. So bring the hand into a fist if you need to give it more of a rest. Otherwise, you can come down onto the elbow. It's just a little bit harder to do these ones from the elbow. Still definitely possible. But when you're up on the hand, you can actually keep all the weight in the leg. Squeeze that glute med. Keep the core engaged. So I really love using the hand to get that like tactile awareness of that mind-body connection. Even close the eyes, hold it, and think, squeeze before you move the leg. And you'll notice that the movement starts even before you tell it to, if you think squeeze. It almost like initiates the movement, the pulsation. Let's do another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release back down. Ooh, give the little booty a shake. That's it. Then let's come back into our plank. We're coming into an extended plank. So you set up for plank, and this is just going to be a 1 minute hold. I'm going to have to get a timer going in a sec. And then walk the hands as far out as they'll go. Maybe the length of your mat. And then we're just going to hold. So timer will start. Let's do a 2 minute hold. Come on. It's only a couple of minutes out of your day. You can rest by coming down onto the knees at any point, but stay in that position. Then take the knees back up. Good positioning. Try to make sure that hips don't go up too high, that the chest doesn't come up too high. What's everyone doing on the weekend? Staying inside, going for a million walks, binging The Handmaid's Tale. Honestly, don't do that. It's such a... I was watching this amazing show called Yellowstone. If you haven't seen it on Stan, please watch it. It's just got the most beautiful scenery, and it's just about this giant ranch. So much drama. Do you know that we're halfway? I've been babbling for a minute. That's good, huh? You could hold for way longer than 2 minutes. Really squeeze the glutes together. Got just over 30 seconds left. But yeah, Yellowstone, highly recommend. If you have any recommendations for me, I'd love to hear them. Because otherwise I'm watching my second series. I'm watching Homeland for the second time, which is a bit sad to watch now considering what's going on in Afghanistan. All right then, guys, we got 15 seconds left. All right then, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and relax. Oh, there's my timer. Do you have abs yet? After every core workout. Okay. Now, pièce de résistance. This is my totally made up exercise that in my head is like the only way to train. Well, not the only way, but I made this up and I thought this kind of works. So we're coming up into a downward dog. Option one is just to do downward dog push-ups. However, I think you're all entirely capable of reaching left hand to the right thigh or the right ankle or calf and pulling with that hand while you do a single arm push-up. It doesn't need to be all the way to the ground, right? Just bend this arm slightly and push. The action is more about, yes, Charmaine. It's more about just getting a little pulsation push while at the same time pulling with the other hand. So you can do one for one, switch, push, pull, switch, pull the leg, dip and push. And you'll notice that even though it doesn't have to be this giant pushing pulsation, it's actually hard to tell your brain to push with one arm and pull with the other arm. But the idea is not just training the body, but training the brain to be able to do those two competing actions at the same time. So really pull with that back arm. Draw the shoulder blade back into the socket. So retracting the shoulder blade. Do a tiny little push-up. Maybe your head touches the ground, maybe it doesn't. It's not really necessary. It's more just about that really hard pull with the back arm and a little bit of a push with the front arm. Let's do another 10. 9. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 2. And last one. And release. Have a stretch. Take the hands, palms together. Take the arms up and overhead. Take the palms back. Then bend the elbows. Push the head into the wrists. Get that nice opening in the shoulders. And take the elbows out wide. We're going to walk the hands forward. Take the palms as far forward as you can. Keep the hips directly over the knees and bring the heart down to the floor. You can either rest the forehead or the chin on the ground and just get a really nice opening in the back of the shoulders. As you're ready, come forward and lay down until the elbows are directly underneath the shoulders in a sphinx position. Gripping the fingertips into the mat, draw the shoulders forward. Extend and open. You should feel a nice stretch in the abs. Take the hands further out if you want to come into this deeper. Take the hands a little bit further out to the corners of the mat and then draw the shoulder blades back as you extend the arms to straight and release back down. You're going to place one hand on top of the other and rest the forehead down onto the pillow you've created with your hands. Zip the legs up together, squeeze the legs, engage the core, so you should feel the core lift away from the floor, and when you zip the legs up, the kneecaps should lift up off the floor. Come forward a bit so you can see me. Then we're going to start with some little flutter kicks. So squeeze the glutes, and you're just lifting one leg at a time. Squeeze the glute to lift the leg. Squeeze, lift. Squeeze, lift. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, take both legs up and then just flutter kicking. So keeping the legs up. Bye, Charmaine. Thanks for joining. and flutter kicks. This is our last little bit of work. Last 15 minutes. Woo. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Keep the head down, or you can start to draw the shoulders back and lift the heart up, but keep the chin tucked in and the neck long. So even if you're pulling the heart forward to get a nice little back arch, you're still staying nice and safe in the neck, not cranking it back. Let's go for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release the legs back down. Once you're ready, we're going to reach around, reach the left hand forward, reach the right arm back, grab onto the foot, kick the foot into the hand. And then as you kick that foot really hard into the hand, the left hand will slide back towards you and then back down, switch over. Right arm extends forward, left arm reaches the foot. Kick the foot into the hand. As you kick, it draws the hand, the front hand will slide back in. Switch over. Kick the foot into the hand. Slide in, slide away. Switch. Kick, slide. And you'll notice if you push that front hand downwards, so that it's like you're trying to squish a bug and slide it in, it somehow gives you a little bit more, well, somehow, it gives you a lot more lift. So push down and kick. Let's do another 2 more each side. 2. Last set. Kick as hard as you can, lift up even higher than you have in the previous reps. Get a little bit more space. Lift and release. Let's push the hands into the mat. Push back up onto your knees and come back up for some drunken camels. So keeping the tailbone tucked under so that you've got your rib to hip connection. You can tuck the toes underneath you to help you with coming back. Taking the arms forward, really engage the core so hip bones drawing towards each other, lifting up through the pelvic floor, and then sinking back in a straight line from the knees to the head, and then back up again. And you'll notice that as you come back, the core and the quads really have to switch on. If you want to take the feet out of it, because they are helping a little bit once they're tucked under, they're giving you a little bit of like resistance and traction. So if you untuck the feet, it makes it a little bit harder. So keep stiff and strong through the whole body. See how far you can go, and then back up. Let's do another 10. 9. Oh my goodness. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. And 3. 2. And last one. And come forward. Oh, give the knees a little shake, patter it out. We're just going to finish up with a couple of stretches. So inhale, come up to downward dog. We'll inhale the right leg high, open the hip, take the knee up, droop the toe behind you, look up and over for the left, up and over the left shoulder for the toe, and then come forward into pigeon. Draw the legs in towards each other to get a nice stretch open, stretching that whole front side of the body. And then come forward and lay down. When you're ready, walk the hands back in towards you. Press the palms down into the mat, tuck the back toes under, lift back up to downward dog. Left leg lifts up, Bend the knee, open the hip, look for the big toe, then come forward into pigeon on the left side. Inhale to lengthen, and then exhale to fold. I tried not using a timer today because I'm always using the 1 minute timer, and it felt like we weren't in the exercises for long enough. So I think I need to go back to my 1 minute timer. Because usually when I'm going, okay, just 10 more, the timer would probably be saying 30 seconds. And so we'd end up doing another 30. But the point isn't to completely kill yourself every time. Although I say this now and then you watch next week will be like crazy hard without me even realizing it. Let's bring the right leg around and forward. Come into your straddle. And we'll actually finish with some pulsations. So bring the, pulsations and then a forward bend. So fingertips into the ground. We've done these with Andrea. So then you curve under and really tuck and lift both legs up. We normally do them in the pike, this one, but we're going to try them in the straddle. So tuck under as much as you can, really push the hands into the mat, almost like you want to lean back and see if you can lift the legs. Nice. It's a little bit, or you almost like roll back and then lift. Nice. Let's do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release down, come forward, and just come into your forward bend. Hands can provide a little pillow for the head. You can hold the head up, draw the shoulders back, pull the heart forward. Maybe squeeze one glute at a time. All the dogs are getting up and stretching. And then let's walk the hands back in towards you. Draw the knees together and just come into a little side to side with the knees. Do we want one more little core exercise? Kind of, yeah, okay. So since we're already facing this way, keep the fingertips facing back towards you. Knees are bent. And then when you push up, you come into this tabletop position. When you pull back, you're pulling the hips in between the arms, keeping the butt off the floor. So you're hovering. Then come forward, tabletop, and back, lift the hips. So you notice as you lift the hips, you kind of compress and come forward slightly. So it's really working this like upper abs. Push up, squeeze, lift. Push up, squeeze, lift. Keep breathing as you move. Inhale as you push the hips up. Exhale as you compress, lift the booty off the floor. Inhale. Exhale, compress. Inhale, lift. Exhale, compress. You can bring the hands onto your knuckles if you need to. I definitely need to. Let's do another 10. Actually, let's just keep it going until the time runs out. No, I'm just joking. What time have we got? Oh yeah, we've got ages. We can keep it going for a little bit longer. Back, squeeze. We're going to add on. So from that tabletop position, and I strongly encourage the back of the sofa for this part, and I'll show you the back of the sofa variation, but you come up into the tabletop and then lift one leg up and then back down, up and then back down. Then add in the little loop. The way you use the sofa is you take out that little seat and then you're just lifting up, lifting the leg as high as it'll go, and lift. So just leg lifts either from the back of the sofa or intermittently in between our little swing set. Up, back. And you can alternate with the little hip dip in the middle. Keep the hips up as much as you can while you do your leg lift. If you want to make it even harder again, bring the leg forward like in a straddle. So you extend the leg, bring it up towards your shoulder, and then back to straight and down. Swing back. Extend, straddle the leg, come forward, swing back. Extend, straddle, forward, swing back. Extend, straddle, forward, and back. Yeah, it's a lot on the wrist. Let's just do 2 more each side. 1. And last set. And release, plonk the butt on the ground. Inhale to lengthen the spine, and then exhale, just fold over the legs. Whew. You can hold on to the ankles or the feet. If you're holding onto the feet, hold over the tops of the toes and pull the toes away from you so that you get a nice stretch. So if you're holding the feet, it starts to stretch out the wrists, the shoulders, the back. And then flex the toes again, push the toes away, flex, and push, and flex. If you would like to, optional to lay down, have a little rest. It's not really a Pilates thing, but thanks for joining me, guys. Hope you have a lovely day. Any questions, feedback, let me know. Thanks, Elda.
Thanks.